time, space, reality. It's more than a linear path. It's like a shattered coffee cup of endless possibility, where a single pencil can poke through a piece of paper into infinite realities, creating alternate worlds that really annoy Alan. I am a watcher of the MCU. I am Alan's guide through these vast new realities. Follow me and ponder the question, what if?
Welcome to Even More Mashed Up. We are the podcast where two professors talk about all things pop culture. I'm Alan.
And I am Patrick. And if you couldn't tell from that opening, we're talking about what if.
Oh, you blew it already. Now people know.
I'm pretty sure they figured it out.
Normally we build suspense.
Not always.
You really hit the poke that time, though. In the previous take, it was more of a broke.
Yeah, I did much better on that.
You poke the pencil, you broke the pencil
poke through a piece of paper.
Yes.
I thought you'd appreciate the pencil,
Nope.
Shattered coffee mug metaphors.
Nope, didn't appreciate it at all.
The shattered coffee mug makes me physically angry.
I know it
because,
does.
of course, any Flash reference does.
Yeah.
But apparently Flash is coming back, so listeners will soon have the treat of another Flash quiz.
Oh, yes, coming up in a few weeks.
Is this the Super Bowl? Like the final showdown between Rich and myself on Flash?
I don't recall where we were after the last one.
I
You
have
guys
no idea.
tied?
It's unfortunate because, no, I do not. I have no idea.
Let's go with we were tied. It creates
Sure.
more drama.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving forward. And another
Based on the
Riverdale
Gotham
quiz coming
well,
soon?
probably not, but...
Yeah, I can't remember. I thought one of you was ahead of the other, but
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I don't know.
So-
But we are talking about what if.
Yes! And you know what I came prepared with?
Numbers. No.
Fun facts. Yes.
See, I'm learning.
Fun facts.
They're never fun, and they're almost always numbers. I just created a tagline for fun facts.
These are not terribly numbery, actually.
I bet they're not fun.
I think they're fun.
Well, I guess
They're a little behind the scenes kind of nuggets.
I guess Rich and I will decide if they're fun.
Okay.
Yes, they might just be facts.
So there are going to be 2 seasons of What If.
Are there?
Yep.
Oh, yay.
And originally,
Whoa.
it was going to be 10 episodes each for a
Okay.
total of 20.
Those sound like numbers to me, Rich, but I could be
due
wrong.
to production
So,
delays,
no, just time out.
caused
I
by
thought you
the
said
pandemic.
no numbers. Now
I
there
didn't
are
say no
numbers.
numbers. I said they're
was
not
at
as
least
numbery.
3 numbers.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay, then there's more numbers coming.
It's weird when you start counting numbers.
It's not as numbery but it's not just numbers. There's also like a narrative to go with the numbers.
Now it's not just numbers.
However, due to the pandemic,
Yes. Was that in 2021? I'm just adding numbers for you.
I'm not sure. Because of delays caused by the pandemic,
Yes.
each season is going to be cut down to 9
Aw.
episodes,
That's too bad.
with one of the season 1 episodes being pushed into season 2
Why?
because they couldn't get it done. But it's the one that actually introduces Gamora that appears in the finale.
Oh, I didn't even think about how Gamora showed up, and I didn't know Gamora.
Yeah, there's a
I
whole
was
episode
wondering
that was
if that
supposed to
was-
introduce her that got pushed to season 2, which means 2 of the season 2 episodes are now just not being produced.
I just had a great idea for a show. A Middle Eastern dictator and an alien superhero, and we call it Saddam and Gamora.
Wow.
What do you think?
You've
No?
insulted
You
3
don't-
people.
You don't even understand why that's supposed to be funny. Like,
You
that's
don't-
not
you
even
don't
a
like-
pun on something.
Yeah, it's Sodom and Gomorrah from the Bible.
It's biblical.
Oh!
Yeah.
Well, no wonder I
Saddam
didn't get it. Okay.
and Gamora.
that's-
Come on.
We've angered 3
Wait,
types of people at once.
yeah.
Can I just, probably not, given Patrick's, I just want to point out,
Yeah.
cultural reference made.
Whoa.
Rich got it.
Biblical reference made.
One would argue that the Bible is somewhat important in Western civilization.
Yeah,
Rich,
but
It pops
Rich,
up in history
I just
once
wanna
in
say,
a while.
Rich nabbed it.
Yeah.
You sat there completely befuddled.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Yeah, I totally got
Catholic
past me.
schoolboy.
It's Saddam and Gamora.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's terrible.
The two of them together,
Yeah, no, it's terrible.
living in one of those Michael Bluth built homes, like the Bluth built home from Arrested Development.
Yeah, now you're mashing things up in a way that
Isn't
makes
that
more
the
sense.
point
yes.
of the show? Like, there's a nuke up in the attic. It's a fake.
It's a pretty.
Did you not watch Arrested Development?
No, I know enough to know that the house is fake.
See,
It's
now
a model
when
house,
there's
isn't it?
But there's one in It turns out they actually built them for Saddam in Iraq.
Oh yes, yeah, that's right.
Like that. That's the light.
That's why they got
treason
in trouble.
that they refer to in
Yeah.
the very beginning. Yeah. Sorry, I really liked Saddam and Gamora, but I'm happy to be corrected. Please continue with your numbers.
I don't even know where we were.
There were 9,
so-
and Gamora got pushed back.
So as I said, the episode featuring Gamora is based on the idea of what if Tony Stark didn't make it back through the wormhole in the first Avengers film.
Tony doesn't do well in What If.
No, he does not.
No.
He ends up going through a wormhole and ends
I
up in
still
Sakaar.
don't feel bad.
And so he builds a Sakarian Hulkbuster suit so he can be in the Contest of Champions, I'm guessing,
Okay.
fighting for the Grandmaster.
Oh, so that explains why he's.
But what's
Why
that-
he's in the Sakarian armor, yeah.
What does that have to do with Gamora?
I don't know. She apparently somehow shows up in the episode.
So apparently the Gamora episode is entirely about Tony Stark.
I don't know. I don't know how that quite works. Okay. Is that she apparently somehow encounters him on
Got it.
on Sakaar or in some way.
Yeah.
It's strange.
Next
Also-
week on Saddam and Gamora.
Also, the episodes were originally going to be
There's a nuke in
longer.
the attic.
The episodes were originally going to be longer,
No.
more around 45 minutes than 30.
Oh, thank God.
Which is why they
Thank-
feel like they're really kind of rushed and trying to do
Can
too
I be
much.
honest with you? I think that might be one of my problems with What If that I didn't know.
It was always the problem with What If. The comic always felt very rushed because you would do like, what if Dark Phoenix didn't destroy the world or something, which was like a 9-issue storyline,
Right.
but they're going to pack it into one issue. So What If has always suffered from this kind of
Literally, the first one with
compression.
Captain Carter is like,
Right.
let's do the whole movie
Well,
in 30 minutes.
So that's a fair comparison, but I think it's also a fair critique on my part. That I think one of the reasons I didn't like What If that much is it felt very rushed
yeah.
and thus not very deep. But go on, please. Do you have more fun facts?
So it's currently at a 93 with critics on Rotten Tomatoes and a 94 with audiences.
Really?
Americans are like sheep being led to the Disney slaughter.
Unfortunately, there aren't enough reviews of the individual episodes to have scores.
The what?
So I had to turn to the next best thing, which are rankings of the episodes.
I'd rather hear rankings of the
Am I anking?
episodes.
My anking
Didn't
of the
last long.
repisodes? I like a good repisode anking.
Just back and forth.
Would you just
the
all right,
scepter of
just
mistakes.
rank them?
So I do have a ranking that we can use, but if you have other things you'd like to...
No, I need a nap. I need a nap.
Clearly, you're a little tired.
Says Mr. Episodes.
You need some C4.
Anking...
Yeah, could definitely use some. All right, so how are we ranking these?
This was Collider's website.
Okay.
This was their ranking, some of which I think you're going to agree with, actually.
Number 1 is clearly Captain Carter.
In terms of, are you saying one is the best?
Yes.
No, that's not what they said.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought Captain Carter was.
Carter, well, for me...
I wanted to like Carter.
They
but I don't
probably
think he was.
went T'Challa as Star-Lord.
Well, see, T'Challa for me is number 1, and Carter is just a smidge below that. Like those were the two best episodes of the season for me.
I loved having Chadwick Boseman back, but I felt like the first episode was better overall. Than the,
They were really close for me. Like because they're the two most fun episodes.
I agree.
They're the two what ifs that kind of like are interesting. You know, it's like
Also fair. Interesting matters, it turns out.
But yeah, I really enjoyed that just both Captain Carter and T'Challa were having fun in their new roles. Like, I really enjoyed that it was, like, particularly Captain Carter was just...
So did Collider have T'Challa first?
No,
Really?
oh,
No.
did they have Doctor Strange first?
they did not.
If they did, I would literally storm off the set.
They had Doctor Strange last.
Yeah,
which
okay.
I thought you would like.
So they got that right. So it's not Did they put Thor first?
Nope.
Because that one was.
Nope, not Killmonger.
It's not 8 or 9, right?
Nope. Oh, wait, sorry. Yeah, no, it's not 8 or 9. Sorry, yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
What if? No, it's not Thor. It's not Killmonger.
Nope.
What's left? Zombies?
Nope.
What am I missing?
Hank Pym.
There you go.
That one?
What if the world lost its mightiest heroes? The
That's
one where
so
Yellow Jacket
stupid.
wipes everyone out.
Yeah, is that the one where Ant-Man's head is in a jar?
No, that's the zombies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Then I have nothing good to say about that one.
Yeah.
It was such a stupid idea.
Yeah, well, that's the one that, for me, that's the one they should have bumped to season 2.
Right.
Because the only way it shows up in the finale is when Black Widow from the Ultron world gets dropped off in that world.
Oh, yeah.
And all you really need to know is that she's being dropped off in a world that lost their Black Widow, which is what Watcher says. So that's the one that should have been bumped to number 2.
Well, just cut completely.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
They could have cut 7 of these and it would have been a better season.
But it was such like it.
So, but yeah, so for me, like that was their best episode. And I was like, no, that's the one that you could easily lift out. You could have moved that to season 2.
Yeah.
And it would not have had any effect, and I would have kept the Gamora episode in season 1.
I can live with your ranking of T'Challa as Star-Lord.
Yeah.
1. But I guess it's Captain America, who I never liked as a kid. Is always my favorite Marvel stuff.
It is, yeah, that is true.
It's a
well,
weird
it's not. I mean,
pattern
again,
for me.
the Captain Carter episode is basically a redo of Captain America: First Avenger, which of course you love.
Great movie.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's kind of why I didn't like it to a point, just because it feels the most rushed. Because,
But see, I would build on Rich's point. The more I watched What If, the more the conceit kind of got old for me. It's always, it's just like this, but, which I know is What If, but
well, and also because again, the what if idea is like the Hank Pym one. It's like, oh, they all like the idea of all the Avengers dying before they become the Avengers is cool, but then the idea of how it actually happens is so disappointing. Like it could have just been a disease.
I love Dark Pym. Like that's who he should be, right? Like.
Well, I mean, he's always been kind of in the comics, he's always had kind of a darker,
so
unfortunate edge to him.
Right, that I kind of could appreciate, but I just, the execution. Do you have any more fun facts before we dig too deep into the episode?
Well, no, I was still going to go through the rankings.
Oh, that's right. We only got the top
number
2.
One is
so their number 1 was What If the World Lost Its Mightiest Heroes?
And then T'Challa?
And then T'Challa.
And then Captain...
Nope.
Is Carter the last one?
No.
Okay.
No, dead last is Doctor Strange for them.
That's right.
Third was the finale.
Yeah,
the second part of the finale was What If the Watcher Broke His Oath?
Yeah.
Then 4th was Captain Carter.
Interesting.
Then 5th was the first part of the finale, What If Ultron won?
Yeah.
Then 6 was Party Thor. 7 was Killmonger. 8 Zombies. 9 Doctor Strange.
They got the bottom about right.
I would have put Killmonger last. That was the episode I did not care for.
It was such a weird. Again, it's such a weird.
Well, it didn't really. I mean, again, I felt like it. It felt like it was too much trying to veer from the whole Killmonger was right idea from Black Panther,
because it almost
they just made him just
an
unforgivable villain.
Well, to me, it was completing that arc that they were trying not to pay attention to. Like they needed to make sure that Killmonger wasn't seen as a good guy.
Yeah.
In the end, So there you have it.
So that one I just was kind of I didn't feel like it did much with the premise.
Right.
It's basically what if Killmonger rescued Tony Stark? Well, he'd be able to do everything he wanted to do.
Right. Yeah.
That one I just found really that was the one that I would put that dead last for me.
I would have that near the bottom, but I think Collider's pretty close to right. Like Doctor Strange was by far my least favorite.
Yeah, I remember. That's why I thought you would like this list because it had Doctor Strange at the bottom.
Yeah.
Which what in particular? Why didn't you like Doctor Strange?
I might have spoiled it in the intro to an earlier show, but Americans think that. How do I want to phrase this? That violence is artistic. And dark is smart. And I felt like Doctor Strange was the ultimate embodiment of that. If we just make it gruesome and violent enough and dark enough,
was it really gruesome?
It will be art. Well, yeah, like what's her name dies over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah,
like there's,
I guess you could argue the Hank Pym one is more gruesome because Hulk explodes.
Well, I'm not saying this is the only time they did it.
Yeah.
I'm saying that to me this was like Tarantino does cartoons kind of thing where like it's artistic because it's dark. I don't buy it. Like,
well, I mean, in some ways, but that's always kind of been What If is like particularly when they re-released it in like the late 80s, early 90s, like every answer was What If was end of the world and or end of the galaxy.
So
that's what If kind of lends itself to.
If Marvel is part of that problem, it doesn't make it any easier for me to consume that problem in Marvel. That Marvel in that way is just part and parcel of this cult of death in the United States. So you're really
excited about the Batman trailer?
Oh, yeah.
We talked about that, didn't we?
Can't wait. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
But the new trailer that was just released at DC Fandom this weekend.
Oh, I did not see it.
DC Fandom had
I did not get a DC Fandom invitation.
It'll totally change your opinion on the film.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Like, at some point, the Nolan stuff, I think, gets credit just for being dark.
Yeah.
And that's not, to me, it's easy art is to do violence and dark in American culture. So Yeah, not for me. Not for me. I thought, and people that thought it was so interesting. Like, come on, people.
I mean, the only thing I thought
Are
was
we still
neat
talking
was-
about Nolan, or are we talking about What If?
Both.
Okay.
But Doctor Strange. Yeah.
But with Doctor Strange, one thing I liked was that at the end, like, everything's sort of destroyed. I thought, for a moment, I thought that's what they were going to do with most of the What Ifs, was that you'd have these people who had basically screwed up so badly their universes were destroyed, so they, almost like a mini Suicide Squad of sorts, like, the people who had failed get a chance to sort of save someone else's universe.
Well, I mean, except, they're more the whole calling them guardians of the multiverse in the end, I thought was kind of cheesy.
Well, and that's I thought the idea was you take all these people who don't have universes and make them...
In some ways, if you want to be true to What If, you just let them be one-offs.
Yeah.
That too. Either one.
Might have been better.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they did an extended, 5-part storyline in the 80s, 90s thing called Timequake, which I guess maybe this episode is, or this series is somewhat...
Timequake.
I guess so.
Somewhat playing with. But yeah, I mean...
It's like Age of Apocalypse in the X-Men
yes.
run. Does anybody look back at that really fondly? Or does people look back at that as like a marketing stunt playing on this idea that dark and violent really sells in the 90s?
liked Age of Apocalypse.
Of course you did.
Until they brought all of the popular people over to the main MCU. And I was like, no, it was better as just kind of its own little contained
that's
thing.
the thing,
but,
right? It's sometimes
no one
better.
was really clamoring for Sugar Man and Dark Beast to come over to the regular Marvel
If I
universe.
see Sugar Man in a comic book, I'm just like, I'm closing the comic book. Has there ever been a good Sugar Man story? Not even in Age of Apocalypse
Wait, what
was
is
there
Sugar
a good
Man's
Sugar
power?
He's just a giant head, as I recall. I don't even know
Doesn't
that
he have tiny little appendages?
Yeah, he's kind of like MODOK, but without the nostalgic camp.
Yeah. And I could not tell you why he's called Sugar Man.
Yeah, I honestly, I can literally picture him as a giant head.
Yep.
And that's really about all I remember about it.
Powered by sugar.
I have a fun fact bonus for you.
Ooh.
And it's a gambler's bonus.
Oh, no.
I will give you $1 if you can guess my favorite part of What If.
Oh.
And there's an answer written right here. And if Rich wants to get in on the competition, God knows that dollar is he's $1 closer to buying his own movie ticket.
Yeah, popcorn.
So, but you can only pick one moment. It's a distinct standalone.
Not a whole episode, but like a specific
moment.
moment.
No, it is just a moment. It doesn't run more than 5 or 10 seconds. What is my favorite moment? How well do you know me?
I know you pretty well.
You do. Rich, do you have an idea?
I'm cycling. There's so many possibilities because it's like, I want to say it's like somebody dying, but I feel like...
See, I just...
when did Hawkeye die?
That was my... there's two times Hawkeye dies. I'm trying to decide which one it is.
The zombie
I'm like, is it the one where... I mean, if I were to guess, I would say it's the one where where Hawkeye's just a dead corpse in the cell.
Rich, your choice?
Because the other Hawkeye death is too much of a sacrificing himself.
I was going to say...
We can talk about that one later.
Okay. Because I was going to say it was going to be that where you watch him go like, I just don't care anymore, and kills himself. And lets himself die.
The problem with that was it was totally done to make up for how terrible he was in the movies. And that was one of my least favorite moments. Should Hawkeye die? Probably. Do I want to see him dying in some way that's justifying and
right, which means his humiliating death at the hands of Yellow Jacket would be the opposite, and thus would be your favorite moment.
It would be a better choice than the attempted redemption. Yeah, the attempted redemption really made me angry.
I didn't have a problem with it.
Surprise. So, Rich, do you have something?
Well,
he chose the attempted redemption.
Yeah, my second choice would have been the Spider-Man movie thing, the zombie, how to survive a zombie apocalypse.
No, you guys are well off. It actually comes from the Thor episode.
Oh.
When he's cleaning up after the big house party.
Yeah.
I did like the Thor episode.
Thor
redeemed a little bit for me after a poor run.
It was the third just kind of fun episode.
Yeah. The fun ones were better.
I mean,
honestly.
I will say, I didn't think something could do worse with Natalie Portman's character than the original Thor.
Yeah, that was
and yet
weird
Party
to watch.
Thor did not really do her a lot of justice.
To me, and we're kind of jumping into Party Thor here, they definitely were doing a Disney princess movie kind of vibe between Thor and the way he would shake his hair, and
it had moments.
It had like she felt very much in Disney princess mode to me, which I think fits with what you're saying. Like,
I mean that
it was not a particularly empowering.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
it just made it's like a whole episode of the scene in when he shows up at her trailer in the original movie,
right?
And she can't put the cereal box away because she's just so befuddled,
right,
by his hotness. And I'm like, this is not. It did not. And unlike other things that tried to redeem things from the film, it felt like that one sort of doubled down on the Jane kind of.
Almost like Disney doesn't know its own misogyny.
Possibly,
maybe.
So, but that's the thing. Like a lot of people didn't like Party Thor.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan.
I would not put it as high as Carter and T'Challa.
Right.
But I still enjoy it. It was a fun episode.
To me, it was more enjoyable than almost anything else except for the two you mentioned.
Yeah.
But for my favorite part was he's cleaning up. Like, it was like a big 80s movie. I think one of the reasons I liked it.
Yeah, it did have some 80s movie
It felt
vibes,
like, it felt like that risky business, weird science that the parents are out of town for the weekend.
Yeah, well, and then
his mom's
it's like the
literally out
weird
of
science
town,
at the end when he has to clean everything up as she's on the longest Rainbow Bridge trip that there's ever been.
Yeah.
Like
I usually call it the Rainbow Bridge, but
I said that Rainbow Bridge.
The tape's gonna disagree.
Isn't that what I said?
You said Rainbow.
Did I say Rainbow? Rainbow.
The Rainbow Bridge is what Thor and his friends went down on originally.
Where my rainbows at?
I was just getting mixed up with Bro Thor.
But to me, I think one of the reasons I really like the Thor was it
vibe.
felt like an 80s, like a weird science kind of thing. Like where you've turned your brother into a hideous monster and you've got to like fix it all at the last minute.
He didn't turn his brother into a hideous monster.
Yeah. No,
he turned into a giant pile of poop.
Was that poop?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what he's meant to be, is a giant pile of poop. It does look kind of like a hideous monster.
But
it's meant
it's funny
to be,
how those two
it's meant to be
similar.
A giant pile of poop.
Fair enough. Anyway, my favorite part was when Thor was cleaning up and he straightens the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Oh, yeah, that was
I just thought it was like...
That was...
what I wanted was like an entire series of moments like that.
Yeah,
that were light
fun.
And funny,
yeah.
like a palate cleanser, like Rich would eat a Crunch Bar.
I mean, that's sort of what. That's kind of what I came into. What if?
Know what you're talking about?
That's what I came into. What if? Thinking of it as I was like,
I'm not expecting.
I'm not expecting anything like affecting the MCU in general from the show. Like this is just going to be a lighthearted. Sort of I'm just going to watch these episodes and it'll be fun and I knew it was tying in together at the end. So like, all right, that'll be interesting. So
and I was happy with the lightheartedness. Like Thor would be my third favorite.
Yeah,
and then the rest there's a gap. Like
and I think they made the mistake.
Jump.
I think they made the mistake of having Carter and T'Challa the first two episodes. It would have been nice if the funny ones had been spread out a little bit more,
or if they were all funny.
Or if they were all, they were all that lighthearted.
I would have gone with a different tone, I think, had they asked me.
Yeah.
One of the things I loved about the series overall, before we talk about specific episodes, was the animation style.
I liked it too, yeah. There's been complaints about it, but I'm like, I really liked it.
I wasn't, because it I don't know, it felt like you lose some detail. It looked cheap at points.
It did, but
I think some of that was they were still very rushed to get it done because of the production
knowing all
delays,
this stuff, like I didn't know about the production being cut. Like they had
it was severely impacted.
But they actually used rotoscoping technology.
Yeah,
which is what was used with Superman back in World War II. And what
do you mean
watched,
like they had actors actually like act out.
Yeah, like they have actors, which is what Fleischer Studios very much did during like World. That's kind of how they made their name was like this. And some people saw it as kind of like cheating, but you'd have like a human model, and you would draw from the human model, thus getting kind of the vibe of Superman.
That's the AC unit. People can't hear on the mic. That's fine.
Okay.
So anyway, I
so
really
why,
liked
then it looked at times.
I liked the animation style. I mean, there were some like I thought Captain Carter and T'Challa were probably the two of the best animated. Some of the other ones it felt a little.
I agreed. It felt like the quality dropped.
Yeah.
But I think one of the reasons I like Captain Carter so much is that it's set in World War II, and it felt very much like a Fleischer wartime cartoon. Like it had the same kind of style, it had the same kind of movement quality to it. That I really liked. Anyway, I just thought it was cool.
Now the background, especially like during the credits, they would show like the backgrounds and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that looked fantastic. Like
those. There was some cool
design
stuff.
Shots.
They did some cool stuff. They just told some stories that didn't really.
Yeah, I also enjoyed. the running gag in the T'Challa episode of Thanos, like, no, I'm pretty sure it's a good idea. And it was like, no, dude, that's genocide.
That was kind of weird that, like in
genocide.
T'Challa's, like, everyone's friends. It was a little
But
weird.
that's the thing. I also liked that episode as kind of a celebration of Chadwick Boseman. Like, yes, T'Challa makes everything better.
Yeah.
Nebula, better. Thanos, better.
Yeah.
Korath the Pursuer, better. Like T'Challa just makes everything.
So as we're talking about kind of the overall tone, can I drop an early fair or foul on you?
Oh, yeah, I've got some fair or foul, too.
That might kind of set up the conversation. So this is from Adam Rosenberg at Mashable. Now, number one, he's using Mashable, so I think Rich should probably look into some copyright infringement there.
To the site?
That they're infringing on us.
They're infringing on us.
They existed long before we did.
I wasn't going to point that out to him.
Okay.
Well, I still think it might bear some investigation.
We also haven't exactly copyrighted or trademarked the name.
Tell you, Alan, if you're okay with time travel, I can go back in time.
He is not.
I
Yeah.
know.
All
That's
right,
why I'm...
Let's let it go.
Because, listen,
So anyway.
the only thing worse than Flashpoint is Rich Point.
Look at your point.
Because do you really want to ask
See
the
my
question,
Crunch Bar?
what happened to Baby Baldwin? Like, there's
Well, I think
so
we
many-
all. I think we all have some suspicions about what happened to Baby Baldwin.
Like, that's just not... That's the worst alternate reality.
All right, so here comes Adam Rosenberg. Are you ready?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
After 13 years, I think Marvel Cinematic Universe fans can all agree that the game of digging through the text for clues and cooking up theories on where the Juggernaut franchise will go next is a huge part of the fun. In that sense, then, the new Disney Plus animated series What If amounts to Marvel saying, "You are seen." It kind of reminded me of Dear Evan Hansen from last week. So,
Yeah, no.
How do you feel about that?
I thought he was going a different direction because I thought he was going to say that the whole digging through for the hints of the direction
yeah.
is kind of ridiculous. Because apparently there were a lot of people that in the Doctor Strange episode were like, "Oh, there's Mephisto." I'm like, you've got to stop with the trying to find Mephisto.
Yeah.
So, but wait, are you complaining that there are too many Easter eggs in the What Ifs?
No. I'm just thinking people.
Because
People
I was
need to stop looking for Easter eggs.
I was hoping that's where you were headed.
No. People trying to figure out from Easter eggs or things like that, you know,
Right.
like
Actually,
they should have
predicting.
learned from WandaVision
Yeah.
and the whole Quicksilver Frank Boner thing. I'm like, yes,
Right.
Marvel knows you're going to do this,
Right.
so they're clearly going to seed things to make you think this.
And people keep coming
And
back.
everyone keeps coming back to Mephisto because apparently there's a shot of like Doctor Strange with like a red face or something
Yeah.
in it, and it was like, ooh, Doctor Strange is actually Mephisto. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
Well,
Stop
I
trying to
think
make
it's-
Mephisto happen.
I think it's also just because of the Spider-Man movie.
So
Coming
you-
out, they're like, it's got to be that.
You don't agree then? It's not. They're not saying you are seen.
No, at this, well, I mean,
I guess in a more of a with them messing with you.
yeah, that's
Kind
I
of
was like,
thing.
yeah, they're seen in the sense that they like know you're going to do this, and so they're going to totally mess with you.
Like you
Which
could
is
always-
not a Dear Evan Hansen kind of scene.
Yeah, no,
You
That's a
shouldn't
good
see Dear
scene.
Evan Hansen and then harass him.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing is they've
Please stop harassing Dear Evan Hansen.
yeah. So
Can I give you one more from Rosenberg then?
Sure.
While we're on him, what if feels more like an intermission before shit gets really wild?
yeah, I do. I mean, that's how I kind of treated it. I'm like, this is not going to be anything.
But do you
that's
think
going-
things are going to get? I'm more interested in the get wild part. It's
Well,
clearly
I
an
think-
intermission.
Well, they're assuming. I think
Oh, because of
that
the multiverse. stuff.
Spider-Man No Way Home, and then there was someone who's working on both No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness that came out like this week and said Multiverse of Madness is insane, like as insane as No Way Home looks.
Yeah.
So I think
Granted,
that's
they
probably
work
what
in
they're.
both of these, so they have a bit of a biased opinion.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I think, you know, people are expecting, particularly in those two movies, even more kind of multiversal hijinks.
Yeah. That's your kind of thing, isn't it?
If it's done well.
Yeah.
You know, I did find there was an interesting meme I saw this week
Yeah.
that had it was like 3 images, and it had a guy pouring a bunch of Spider-Man characters into a hat, and it was Sony and Spider-Man 1 and MCU fans. That's too many characters and too many plot lines. And then Spider-Man 2, the second Andrew Garfield one.
Yeah.
Same thing. That's too many characters, too many plot lines. And then the last one's Kevin Feige pouring all the things into No Way Home.
Yeah.
And it's just got the MCU fan going like,
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. It does. I mean, it concerns me because I mean the Achilles heel, if you will, of superhero movies that by and large the Marvel Universe has avoided,
right,
is the whole trying to have too many villains, too many characters at once,
right.
And so it'll be I'll be curious to see if they can actually manage. Now, of course, they're doing it after 20 some odd films, not as film 2 or film 3.
Yeah.
Right. No, that's true, but
yeah, it'll be. I'm cautiously optimistic, but it's going to, particularly given that Multiverse of Madness is being done by Raimi, who did, the third Spider-Man film that everyone kind of
overstuffed.
Which a lot of that I think had to do with studio pressures, but
the thing is, if we were to write a book called Even More Mashed Up's Rules for Superhero Movies, near the top of that list would be don't do too much. Don't feel like you have to stuff everything in.
Well, I would maybe...
I feel like the first one would be no time travel.
I would tweak that. Well, no, because I'm fine with time. I would say
that one,
don't do too much too soon.
Right.
Because you could argue Infinity War is a lot.
No, but I mean...
But they managed it.
Because
they had so much...
Because they didn't do it in one
films.
movie.
Yeah.
Right? What I'm saying, the rule would be don't put too much into one film.
That seems fair.
Especially early.
Yeah.
But then
so don't
late
do
as
too
well.
much too soon. Your rule is don't do too much in one movie, especially too early.
Yeah.
Mine seems to be the same, and that it's don't do too
so
much
you
too
agree
soon.
with me. I'm glad to hear that.
Yes, and
I'm glad that you're acknowledging.
I'm more concise. You're very
something
wordy.
that DC seems to have not yet figured
I'm
out.
having to edit you down a little bit.
Well, okay. Did I tell you that Vicky slept through the final episode? Literally fell asleep on the couch.
I mean...
The final episode is a bit by the numbers. In that the moment they recruited Killmonger, I'm like, well, they're clearly counting on him to betray the team. You don't recruit Killmonger for loyalty. I'm like, he's clearly going to betray the team, and that becomes important.
Yeah.
They're literally watching him messing with an Ultron head.
Yeah. And then it's like, we know Killmonger's going to do bad stuff. Like, I was like, does nobody notice what Killmonger's doing?
Yeah.
Like, he's playing with an Ultron head a lot.
Yeah.
Like, that seems
doesn't
like
sound
a
like
bad
something you
thing.
should say on a
One
like
thing,
Zola
the other
was
thing
gonna say that.
that I liked,
yes,
and was disappointed in with the finale.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed the sort of quasi-budding relationship between Captain Carter and her Black Widow.
Yeah.
And then for Steve to show up in the post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hoping it's not going to be Steve. I'm hoping it's actually going to be Bucky in the suit.
Why would you hope it's Bucky?
Because I really want the Black
Bucky?
Widow
Wasn't
Captain Carter
Bucky
thing.
Around?
I don't know where he is. Well, no, because she's now in a
guess-
totally different world than her own.
Well,
It gets too complicated, man.
So, but I really liked the whole Captain Carter Black Widow relationship. I was like,
Yeah.
I would like to see that keep going.
yeah.
So, like the sudden swerve towards compulsory heterosexuality, I was like,
Well,
unless Black
it's a
Widow somehow
cartoon.
in the suit.
I know, but
clearly
still,
designed for kids.
I know, but I
I
really enjoyed that.
I don't disagree with you, but that's a pretty big step for Marvel.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, obviously with Eternals, they're addressing
They're doing
all
a
of
lot
it.
of things in Eternals, yeah.
So who's to say? Maybe they're ready to...
Speaking of too many characters in one film.
Yeah, but it's a 2.5-hour film, so I'm sure
That'll make it up.
yeah.
Better.
Don't do too much too soon unless it's too long. That feels like a nice rule.
Yeah. Nope. Even if it's too long is how you should phrase the last part of that.
Yeah.
That rule. So do you say you had some fair files? Or
I
you
do
want me
have
to-
some fair files.
I've got a couple more I could drop on you as well.
I've got some good ones here. So you'll like this one. This is Nick Allen from RogerEbert.com.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Is that one of yours?
Oh, for sure. Is it something about the light fun of it is eaten away
The
by
light
the...
fun of what if is eaten away by the cynicism from within the project that purports to be about infinite possibilities is blatantly more about repurposing.
Isn't that so fair?
Recognizing characters and performances from live-action Marvel movies, but seeing them inside these animated bodies, repeating much of what they're good at, does not inspire the sense of creative freedom, but captivity.
That is exactly nail on the head what's wrong with What If.
That's why I picked it. Like,
that it's-
that could not
that
have
it's
been better for Allen if his name's Nick Allen.
Yeah.
He spells it differently.
Well,
Are you Nick Allen from RogerEbert.com?
I am not, although many students think my last name is Allen. They can't keep it straight anymore.
Austin Allen.
Yeah, they're very confused. They're very confused. Yeah, but the idea that there's something cynical about this,
Yeah.
I think is 100% true. Like what they could have done such interesting stories, but they hew so close to the characters and the stories we already know. Like, at what point does that become not charming anymore?
Well, and
at what point is it, we're doing it again?
Well, and I think that's why I liked the T'Challa storyline, because it's not a storyline from the films.
Right.
Like, you get the opening scene where he's getting the orb or whatever, but after that, it's a completely different storyline.
Yeah. To me, I think maybe I would have liked Captain Carter less had it come number 8 in the line, where I'd seen that repeated over and over. I didn't realize how cynical that was.
Yeah. Well, and Party Thor is the other one that's very sort of divorced from a storyline in the film.
Yeah.
And and it does feel like the other episodes are a little. Again, that's why I don't like the Killmonger episode, because it doesn't really veer much.
Yeah.
I love it. Also ends with him still losing.
But that cynicism is, I think, really worth thinking about in this.
Yeah.
That in some ways, What If feels kind of like a cash grab, making it because they can.
Well,
like,
I mean,
it
is purely kind of based on nostalgia for
movies, some of which we've seen
pretty
4
recently.
years ago.
Yeah, it's a very...
And I know they're at the pace they're remaking Batman. Or Spider-Man. You could make the argument that we do have a nostalgia for that stuff.
Yeah.
But to me, I think Nick Allen was just 100% right about that. 100%.
I've got another one for you that I think you'll like.
Oh, good.
From, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Suchin Mirota from First Post.
I do not have that one.
Quote, "The reimagined stories in the new Marvel show What If are consistently curious, but never compelling.
Oh.
With very little that is genuinely memorable, just like the recent offerings of the MCU."
I think that's fair. Although, what do you consider a recent offering of the MCU? Because I thought we agreed Shang-Chi was more than that.
Yeah.
Black Widow probably wasn't.
Yeah.
Loki, maybe a little bit more than that. WandaVision was much more than that.
Yeah.
So I think generally true, but that last part would make me...
It's a little harsh.
It's a little harsh on some of the stuff that's been done.
Yeah.
But I do feel this entropy setting in to the superhero era in which we live.
You realize this is...
I'm going to tell you, for the first time ever...
Yeah. If you say peak superhero, so help me God.
I think we're past peak superhero.
You've been saying that for 6 seasons.
Eventually he'll be right. By probability,
it could be an extended peak.
I feel like
this doesn't help sustain superhero.
You've got a
pop
shot
culture.
at being right.
Woohoo!
It's almost like him saying...
It really kind of depends what happens with Eternals.
I feel like Eternals could be the nail on the... Like, it does not look like it's going to surprise us.
I feel like... But you got Spider-Man, too. And Spider-Man might...
Actually, it's Spider-Man 3.
But... Rich thought it was funny. So I'm going to move on then. Of course, he did like the Saddam and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
Next week on Saddam and Gomorrah... What happens when the Kurds come to the dinner
if
party?
There's not a scene where she doesn't say, "Don't look at me."
All right. So, how about this one from Lewis Chilton of The Independent?
Okay.
He's from the UK, so maybe he's got a different point of view.
A lot of the ones I looked at the UK did not seem favorable.
Let's see. Each episode may begin with "What if," but they end resoundingly with nothing more than "So what?" That's true of 2/3 of them.
Yeah.
2/3 of them I thought "So what" about.
Yeah. I did surprisingly like the zombie episode.
Really? Why?
But zombies are like... Are they a thing still?
I don't know, but
But also, it just seems so...
Part of it is just that I watched that movie late in the evening.
Yeah.
And went to bed. And...
You dreamed of a better version?
Did not have pleasant dreams that evening.
Really?
Yeah, like
a zombie movie.
Yeah, I liked, and I also liked the zombie one. A lot of people complained that it was too quippy for a zombie type thing.
Yeah.
I actually kind of liked it.
Well, that can be a thing, though, right?
But yeah, there was just something like I think that by and large, just because a lot of the violence was more suggested than seen.
Well, the whole
it wasn't like Walking Dead where you're literally seeing people being
right.
chewed to bits.
In the whole series,
true,
but you don't get any blood.
So I think
Walking Dead, that's not current, is it?
It's still going.
But
I stopped watching it.
But
like
exactly. But nobody pays attention to it the way they used to.
Yeah, no.
Like here, they're dipping into a nostalgia that feels like it's dead.
Yes, I mean, in some ways.
See what I did there?
Yeah, no, I got it. Well, they're trying to reanimate it.
We're trying to make it undead.
They're trying to bring
And
it
then
back
I guess
to life.
feed it
Yeah.
to Wanda via vision, or I don't.
It felt like it was eating my brains. Does that count?
No.
Yeah. So anyway, do you have others that you would like to?
I have some questions for you.
Okay.
Oh boy!
Let's jump to questions.
All right.
Quiz time.
So you
Me?
are Kevin Feige,
Yes.
and what if head
We have
writer
Kevin Feige
A.C.
as a
Bradley?
co-host on the show.
Okay. Yes. So I'm two people.
Bradley has been quoted as saying that season 2 would be even weirder and wilder than the first.
Okay.
What other what if episodes would you greenlight?
Well, that's interesting. Now, are they allowed to bring in the Fantastic Four and X-Men at this point?
I don't know about that. They did say that
Because-
they're going to do more with the more recent films.
My guess is if you're Feige, you wouldn't bring in the Fantastic Four or X-Men here because you want a bigger reveal.
you wouldn't do that.
You don't want the reveal to be on TV.
Unless
And you don't want it to be in cartoon.
you're going to use Sugar Man, and then it's fine for him to show up in animated.
Because nobody would know where he's from.
Like no one cares if Sugar Man makes his live action
He could be in the
debut.
back and
even the best Easter egg hunter would intentionally overlook that.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't even see Sugar Man.
Yeah.
Like, nah,
Nope.
blah 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 blah.
Pretty sure
can't
that's
hear
just
He's got a
Sugar
Mo-
Man.
close-up,
That's just
you know.
MODOK. That's an off-model MODOK.
That's right. He's got to be a what ify kind of.
That's a what if MODOK, who's
All right.
had a different. Life.
So you've immediately struck down my first couple of ideas, which
Okay.
would be to like, what if the X-Men appeared before the Avengers?
Yeah, that they're not going to be able to do that.
So, what if Reed Richards was the smartest man and not Tony Stark?
Yeah, I don't think you would be able to do that.
All right, so I really have to pull. So they're definitely going to do something from the Black Widow movie because they love the Crimson Commando.
Red Guardian.
Yeah, I get his name wrong every time for some
And,
reason.
and Crimson Commando is the three old guy, one of the three
Like the
old guys
Wizard.
in X-Men.
The Wizard.
Isn't
Isn't it
with
Wizard?
Silver Saber?
It was Silver Saber.
He's got the same speed powers. But
Who was Wizard?
Wizard was a Golden Age superhero.
I thought he was the same one.
No.
He's not the same one.
No, it was.
Oh, that's
it
why he was old, 'cause he was from
You're
the
thinking
Golden
of the
Age.
trio of like old.
One guy's like a big brick wall-y
That
kind
would
of
be
guy.
Stonewall,
There you go. Yeah,
Crimson Commando,
yeah.
and super. It was either Silver or Super. Maybe it was Super Saber.
All right,
Probably
so
Super Saber.
The Red Comrade.
Red Guardian.
They're probably going to do one based on him because they think he's funny, but I have no interest in it.
See, I have an idea for that one,
Yes.
which would be, what if Hawkeye killed Black Widow rather than recruited her?
It's got to be
Because he thinks he kills her.
Hawkeye centered. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a theme in my what ifs.
Yeah.
Thinks he kills
Okay.
her,
Well, you know,
but didn't actually kill her. So Natasha is the one that's made into Taskmaster.
I hate it. I hate it. It's
But Yelena
so much,
and Red Guardian
no.
are the ones that go after
You're
Hawkeye.
making it worse.
I've already fallen asleep. I've already skipped the episode to go to the
God,
next one.
all the problems that we just talked about
so good.
with What If you have just replicated in your first
Except
pitch
it'll
to
have
me.
a happy ending
Just-
when Hawkeye defeats all of them.
You've just you've just replicated
Oh,
all of the problems.
well, you're not going to like my other options.
So here's wait, I had one and then you made me forget in my rage.
Is one
Okay,
of them? I
what
assume
if-
one of yours would be what if Hawkeye ran a little faster?
Yeah, no, that was my first one. What if Hawkeye cared?
See, I've got a different one. It's
Yeah.
what if Hulk hadn't scared the little kid, causing Hawkeye to have to rescue him?
Now you're shifting the blame too far. What if Hawkeye had cared enough to be a superhero and do his job?
So you're admitting Hawkeye's a superhero.
If he had done his job.
You just said he's a superhero.
Had he done his
you
job.
just said that.
No. What if he was
just
a
said
superhero?
that.
I mean, implying that he's
You
not.
implied that he is.
And
No, I did not. I did not mean to.
Yeah.
He's
But
a
you did.
wannabe hero. So my first one would be what if Hawkeye cared
Okay.
enough?
What if Hawkeye was never
Save
included and just lived
Quicksilver.
with his family
Yeah.
for the rest of his life?
Yeah. What if Hawkeye hadn't learned a bow and arrow, but had learned to boomerang?
Well, then he'd be Captain Boomerang,
Yeah.
and that guy's terrible.
Yeah. So he'd be just as lame.
Plus, he has a boomerang.
Oh, you know what
arrow,
the
so it's
punchline would
best
be?
of both worlds.
Nobody would still care. Still nobody cares.
Nobody would
That's
notice.
not true. There's at least one person that cares very deeply about Hawkeye.
What if
Besides
Hawkeye...
you?
Yeah. No, I meant me.
Oh, okay.
What could I do a what if where Hawkeye wears that gold disco kind of 70s uniform?
It wasn't gold. It was still purple. It's always purple. It might have had
so
like
the dress
gold
is
trim.
purple and the tunic is purple.
It's all purple.
It's kind of like a mini dress.
The
That's
70s thing?
Yeah, that's the mini dress. The full dress is today.
No, he doesn't even wear that. He wears like jeans and a t-shirt these days.
Ugh, he's so cool.
I miss the classic costume.
He's so cool.
So cool.
I miss the classic costume.
Just gonna, yeah.
What
Everybody
if
likes
they,
a hero in a gown.
What if
Yeah.
Hawkeye wasn't there to convince Wanda to be an Avenger? You know what the answer is?
What's that?
End of the world. Because that's always the answer in What If.
Oh, I see the game you're playing here. So, what if
Hawkeye sacrificed himself on Vormir instead of Black Widow?
well, he would have been a hero, so that can never happen.
It'd be funny if like they don't get the stone because it's implied he has no soul.
What if Hawkeye were actually an effective hero?
Well,
Then we
he
would
is.
never have gotten to Ultron.
What?
We wouldn't need to build Ultron. Hawkeye could protect the world.
Well, that would require
what if-
Tony Stark looking past his ego.
what
which
if
is
Tony
very
Stark-
unlikely.
what if Tony
was
Stark
just like,
cloned
nice.
Hawkeye and made him the suit of armor around the
Oh,
world?
we need a purple suit of armor around
just
the world.
just shooting arrows at asteroids as they
Yeah, it
come
would totally
streaking
work,
towards Earth. Yeah, but it'll be a boxing glove arrow.
Or a boomerang arrow.
Yeah,
Or exploding arrow.
Captain Boomerang arrow.
I've got another question for you,
Oh boy.
since you don't really seem to be enjoying this one.
Well, I'm sorry. Your question was one that you had the answers to. So
Yeah.
is this
I
a
had
question?
questions
Is this
you
a
didn't
question
want to
that I get
answer.
to answer, or is this a question that you will answer to?
Well, you were very slow to answer, so if you're faster to answer this time, I won't have to give my answers. What other properties
insulting.
would you apply the what if formula to?
Definitely not Stranger Things.
Okay.
Like a what if Family Matters would be
Come on.
spectacular.
A show that people watch.
No.
A show that people actually want to watch.
Really? Okay. What if Alan Thicke weren't a terrible person? No.
Wait, did you say weren't a terrible person?
Yeah.
Is Alan Thicke a terrible person?
Oh, I think so. Didn't he have some issues with the ladies
I don't recall that.
back in the 80s?
Hmm.
Rich, could you Google that? I don't want to slander Alan.
It's probably too late. You might have to edit that in post.
I will edit nothing.
I'm pretty sure. Okay, so what if I don't want to do Cosby because then you're going to do your pudding pop
No, I'm not.
imitation.
And nobody needs to hear that ever again.
No, we do not. Although it's a classic when you pull that out
I'm
of
pretty
that.
sure I only do it when you ask for it. It's not
Yeah.
like something I just,
Yeah. So other properties. What if Stranger Things had quit after season 1?
Okay. You would be happier.
Oh, wouldn't we all?
I feel like that's going to be a theme of your what if with
Yeah.
other properties.
What if? Okay. What if? Well, I can't say they've done a good job with what if. That seems.
I've got a couple prompts for you if you want.
What if James Gunn had been put in charge of the DC universe from the beginning?
Ooh. Well, I had one which is just what if the DCEU wasn't a garbage fire. I feel like that's...
Or what if Zack Snyder had gone Marvel?
Oh, God.
Imagine that.
That's frightening.
Well, you wanted apocalyptic scenarios, right?
Oh, my God.
I have given
Oh, my
you
God.
one.
Can you imagine Zack Snyder's what if?
Yeah.
First off, every episode would be 2.5 hours.
Or his Captain America.
Oh.
Oh my goodness!
Like the soundtrack writes itself.
Yeah.
I almost want to watch that just to see how bad it would be.
The what if Zack Snyder was the vision of the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I've got one. What if Superman or Batman's mother's name wasn't Martha? It totally changes the entire trajectory.
Oh, no, because it would be fine, because I'm pretty sure Zack Snyder would still make Superman's mother match. Because he really
There'd be a scene
needs
where
that moment.
Superman's mother changes her legal name.
It's the only way out, which is why it's a good what if, because Superman must die if his mother's not
Yeah,
named
well,
Martha.
but, I mean, technically Superman did die in that film, so...
But in a way that
Technically,
doesn't
in
get
the
brought
sense that
back,
he
right?
Yeah.
Anyway. So what, do you have something better?
Well, what if Flash wasn't actually the villain in his show?
Nah, I should have thought of that one.
Yeah.
I
What if Gotham wasn't an absolute disaster?
I can't imagine it. Like,
Yeah.
I can't even wrap my head around it.
And
be-
this is
be a
one.
different show.
What if Michael Bay never got his hands on the Transformers franchise?
Now that's a tragedy.
Is it?
Yeah,
No.
for sure.
Because then you
What
get,
if
well,
Michael
I guess
Bay
it would
never
be, because
learned
then
what
think about
explosion
the only
was?
thing possibly worse then Zack Snyder's MCU
Yeah.
is Michael Bay's MCU.
I would give Michael Bay a film if I ran the MCU.
No, you,
Yep.
no,
No,
you
no.
can't do
I
that.
I wouldn't give him
like one
no,
off that you like.
I would-
a non-canon film.
So
would-
What If? We'll give him What If season
No,
2.
Yeah.
I would give him a feature
but
film.
no budget.
I would give him a huge budget,
No.
but I would not give him an A-list star. I'd make him work with
The people he's worked with in his other films?
like Whizzer.
Oh, you mean a superhero?
Sugar
I
Man.
thought you meant
Yeah,
like
no,
A-list.
I'd give him a superhero film, but I wouldn't give him Captain America. Like he would have to
Okay.
do like
Did you give him Crimson Commando?
Yeah, like who would he do well? West Coast Avengers, like something that
No.
doesn't matter.
No.
Something that doesn't matter.
No.
Sugar Man.
I don't want Sugar Man. No, I'm trying to think like
He could do like
Tigra?
he could do something from like the 90s era bad girl phase. He could do Psylocke. Let him have Psylocke. That'll
you know what
be
he
a
could
good movie.
He would actually do a really good 90s X-Force. A Rob Liefeld era
Yes.
X-Force.
Yes, he would
Put him in
he
charge
would-
of that.
Yes.
Come on, that would be a fun one-off.
I'm not sure it would. Cuz I feel like it would be as Michael Bay could be.
Yeah.
Which
Which is
sort
what,
of like you got Michael Bay and my Liefeld. You got Liefeld and my Michael Bay.
They're the
They-
same thing. It
but
doesn't matter.
they are kindred spirits.
I
think
that is a
that
very good match.
the Rob Liefeld material would speak to him.
Yeah.
So, like, would you care if we gave Michael Bay Shatterstar
No.
and who else would you
Farrell.
pull from? Oh, Farrell. For sure, Farrell. I'd even give him Cannonball.
Ooh, but you're a classic New Mutants fan.
I know, but like they're never going to do anything good with Cannonball. So at least I would have
Well, you
fun
never
with
saw the New
Cannonball.
Mutants movie, did you?
I did not. I needed. Well, we could do that. Did we ever talk about that?
We did the trailer. I don't think we ever did the film.
We could do that for Halloween.
We could.
That's a very Halloween film.
That's a very timely subject as well, considering
Yeah.
the movie came out like 2
All right.
years ago or
I was
something.
going to say, like, I don't recall that.
You know, here's a what if.
coming out. Anytime
What if I had a good idea?
We'll never know.
Unbelievable.
I ask myself that question on a weekly basis.
But honestly, this would be a good podcast down the road, assigning directors to superhero franchises. Because I'm really all in on Michael Bay doing.
Michael Bay's X-Force would be
spectacular.
that would be a quality match.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Michael Bay's
But do you
X-Force
think it'd be
would
too
be.
I would
much
give-
like James Gunn with Suicide Squad?
Quentin Tarantino,
No.
Rawhide Kid. Good Western.
Good.
Oh, it
I'm
sets
assuming
up.
you're not talking about like the recent series they did, which was.
No, I'm talking about like 70s Rawhide Kid.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
Who did he used to hang out with? Was there another one like a Two Gun Kid?
There was Two Gun Kid. Yeah.
Was there a Rawhide Kid?
There was Rawhide Kid.
lot
There
of
was
kids.
Two Gun Kid. There
Yeah.
was Knight Rider / Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
You know who else hung out with Two Gun Kid for
Who's
a time?
that?
Hawkeye. He decided in
I would love to see what Tarantino would do to Hawkeye.
in
And you know what?
early in
I'm
Avengers around
You know what?
Avengers 141,
Destroy him. I don't
142.
care. Let's-
Hawkeye got sent back to the Old West.
Yeah.
and then he brought Two Gun Kid to the present after staying in the Old West for
So
a
you're
while.
not feeling a Tarantino, like 70s Western Marvel heroes.
Yeah, see, I don't.
I think it could work.
I could see it somewhat. I mean, Tarantino definitely has the 70s sort of vibe. I don't know
Yeah.
about Western vibe with him.
I mean, he's done westerns.
Right.
Yeah, but I haven't seen them, so I don't know if they're any good. But yeah, that's not terrible. I could also see Tarantino doing like a gritty 80s kind of Kingpin, Daredevil, gangster type.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like Reservoir Dogs type thing.
anything really bloody.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about D.W. Griffith doing Luke Cage?
Oh. Are we talking about The Birth of a Nation, D.W. Griffith, or Broken Blossoms, D.W. Griffith?
I would argue it doesn't matter.
Well, one would be slightly less racist than the other.
Well, he would be
Slightly
trying.
less ra-
Yeah,
Would he be trying to present a somewhat sympathetic message about people who aren't white, or would he just be hating them?
Yeah. I would think, D.W. Griffith's Shang-Chi.
Yeah, that would be good. You know, would be another good one. Would be Scorsese on anything Marvel. Number one would be fun, right?
No.
Since he's
Just
such a
somehow he gets like contractually
well, he's such a-
obligated.
He would be good on a Kingpin origin story.
yeah, absolutely. Like or any like good Daredevil story. Like
Yeah.
he would. But just to teach him a lesson, it would be fun to give him something that was like the exact opposite, like a complete romp, like a Howard the Duck.
Yeah, I was just saying.
Make him do Howard the Duck.
He gets not Marvel but DC. He gets Captain Carrot and the Zoo Crew.
I was like, he wants Batman, but he gets Captain.
I think we did a radio show on Captain Carrot at some point.
I think probably
Pig Iron.
talking about Spider-Ham from Spider-Verse might have led us in that direction.
Yeah, my brother used to actually buy the Captain Carrot stuff when we were little kids. He was little, but still.
Yeah.
Big mistake.
Big mistake.
A terrible, terrible.
So, what if?
Yes, what if?
Anything else?
Yeah, I have a big concluding criticism.
Ooh, okay. Let's hear it.
You know what I almost always hate in the Marvel Universe?
I don't know.
Hawkeye?
Hawkeye 1, 2, or really 1A, when the Watcher shows up. I'm not a big Watcher fan, and he became such an integral part of the.
Well, I mean, part of it too
story.
is Watcher showing up used to be a rare event.
Yeah,
and now he shows up in the comics a bit more often. And in this, he's in
by
every
the way,
episode.
Even when it was rare, it was still stupid. Even in the Dark Phoenix, which of course is clearly one of my all-time favorite storylines. They've told it 100 times since, but never well. But the first time through was a really nicely told story. I think even as a kid, when I was reading that, I'm like, I don't need the Watcher.
Yeah,
just give me a narrative box. That's all I need. I don't need that pretentious, big-headed guy just standing over there because he's cursed to watch.
Yeah. Oh, I did. There was one possible continuity error in What If in the finale.
How could that be?
Well, because
amidst all this what ifiness.
Well, number one.
Yes.
Well, there's actually two.
More numbers.
In the end,
start with
Natasha fires the Zola arrow into
the arrow
Ultimate Ultron.
Empty.
Yes.
The arrow should be empty because they downloaded it into.
Well, they never showed him leaving the soldier.
Ultron.
Well, can I ask you a question? When you download something from a thumb drive onto your laptop, is it then drained from the thumb drive?
Well, the show implies that it was.
If you had a floppy disk and you put it in, let me put it in your terms, and you put the floppy disk in to a disk drive and downloaded it to the computer itself and took the disk out.
Are we downloading it or are we copying it?
It doesn't matter because either way you'd make a copy to download it.
Thank you very much.
So I think you're both.
I think you're both wrong.
The show implies heavily that.
Yes, thank you.
How?
Copying it
because the green light goes down into Ultron off of the arrow. And
I've never seen a computer do that kind of thing where you see a bar showing it.
But here's the other thing.
So that literally had a loading bar.
But what?
Well, yeah, you guys have definitely proved me wrong.
Well, here's the other.
What a terrible continuity mistake. I'm not going to watch season 2.
So here's the other continuity mistake.
You mean the first one? Because
she uses Hawkeye's bow.
Yes.
Hawkeye had his bow when he ran into all the Ultron droids.
No, he handed it off to her when he dropped because she had it on her.
No, but he definitely fires it as he's dropping.
He fires an arrow at them.
He's in the air.
He's in the air
and
he fires
dropping
an arrow
and
at
he
them.
Fires. So
how does she have the bow?
Back around?
Well, one presumes that, any ordinary person can have a bow. Maybe she just found one.
Yeah, but it's Hawkeye's special bow.
Well, but it's really just a bow.
It was one that kind of bothered me.
Yeah.
Also connected to that is where did the Ultron robot that he was in go to?
Yeah, that was the other weird thing. I'm like, you had Zola in an Ultron body, and then we never see him in the film.
Can I be honest with both of you? I just don't care.
I know.
I was so disinterested in this as a series. I watched episode 3 on Thor Accepted. I watched it only as a professional obligation. If I did not have this podcast...
You consider this a professional obligation?
Yes.
Yeah, well.
So I watched a couple
That's
of...
That's the sad state of my life. I watched it... Okay, not a professional... I watched it only for this podcast.
Yeah.
If we were not podcasting, I would have quit after number 3 or 4. I wouldn't have finished. I just...
Yeah, the finale especially...
It didn't speak to me. I'm telling you. I know maybe I've never said this before, but I feel like peak superhero is crashing.
No, you've never said that before.
I also love that the thing Gamora had. Stone.
There's when I say that,
what if peak superhero was reached?
Yeah. Here's the thing. The more I do it, the more I realize I am Colin Robinson. Your frustration gives me energy. Colin Robinson is the energy vampire on What We Do in the Shadows, which you refuse to watch.
It's not that I refuse to watch. I just haven't watched it.
It's so good. You're watching so much garbage right now.
I'm not watching much garbage at all.
Throw it out. Well, that's a professional obligation.
Yeah, that is a professional obligation.
But I don't think you're watching anything better than What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, I'm probably not.
You should watch it. It would be fun to talk about, too.
Yeah, well, you know what you should watch?
What's that?
Titans.
No, you've told me that's garbage.
Oh, it's so bad.
You're trying to lure me
you're
into
watching
bad.
Titans over What We Do in the Shadows.
No, I've stopped watching Titans.
No, but
so now you've got time.
But Titans, you should watch Titans.
I would pitch you on What We Do in the Shadows.
It's so bad.
We should do that. Titans, we should not do.
No, you should totally watch Titans.
Will not do it.
It's so bad.
Not going to happen.
It is so awful.
Not going to
like
happen.
how happy you are, like how bad it is.
It is. Like, it's
like
just...
you wasted time looking at it.
Here's the thing. When I was a kid, I loved the Teen Titans.
I know you did. That's why you should watch
like that, the George Perez, Marv Wolfman run.
Well, even the new ones, they had
so
the animated
good.
ones, I think are good.
Like, just so good. Like, peak comic book storytelling from my perspective.
No, you'll love Titans because Starfire's there, Raven's there.
Well, Starfire was one of my favorites.
Yeah,
I always thought
and
she and Nightwing had such a good dynamic.
I never liked the Nightwing
What a great
Starfire
couple.
relationship.
What
They
a
were
great
my
couple.
least favorite. Actually, Starfire is my least favorite Titan.
Over Beast Boy?
Yeah, I find Starfire very
Beast
annoying.
Boy, I just could never.
I had a whole storyline plotted out that would basically get rid of Starfire. But it's
in your
it's,
head.
Yeah.
No, well, it's too buried in continuity right now.
No, I just thought the two of them were great together.
Yeah, I never liked them.
Always liked them.
Yeah.
I never understood why Wonder Girl was dating Terry.
Oh, you
Is
mean
that
the
his
guy
name?
that's like 30 years older than her?
Yeah, with the big beard.
So creepy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, what if?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like this feels like a very logical conclusion
Yeah.
to a conversation about what if a show
Yes. Let me see. Is there anything else
with
that,
so little of interest
Yeah.
that it's hard to stay focused on.
I think you already covered this. Are you looking forward to the second season, or you think it's going to be worse?
Oh, he's clearly not looking forward to it.
Why
But I mean,
would I?
do you think it'll? Do
in
you think
what
they'll take the
way?
criticism and actually make it better, or do you think they'll?
Yes, I'm confident that they're listening right now as we speak,
Well,
taking voluminous notes to fix all these problems. Rich,
If they were doing that, it'd be concerning because it means they've bugged our studio.
if they were smart, they would have. Look, at some point when this podcast really hits,
Another
Marvel's
thing
going to
you've
put
said
us
for a
in
couple of
charge of
years.
something. It might be the Joe Quesada, Marvel Knights, kind of like a segment of the comic book
I'd be
universe.
fine with that.
Yeah.
Well, because you know what our
I don't-
lead-off title would have to be?
What is it?
Hawkeye.
Okay, if you give me some creative control, I'm happy to
No,
do
no,
it.
no, 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 no. You
Yeah,
get
yeah.
no
No,
control.
we're good.
I
We're
will
good.
be.
I will take Hawkeye.
No, 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 no,
I
no,
like
no,
that.
no,
You'll
no.
And
get
you
no
can take
control.
Psylocke.
I get Hawkeye. You can have whatever
Whatever's
franchise
not Hawkeye.
you want.
No, Hawkeye. If they would give us the Hawkeye corner of the universe, we
Not
would.
us. No,
we
you
would,
can't.
We
you
would
can't
knock
have
it out of the park.
You can't have.
Oh no, it's a package deal.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
No.